Hello everyone, my name is Adelia Ortiz, and today, in our Literature 1 class, I have been assigned to recite and read the following poem, The Wild Swans at Coole, written by William Butler Yeats. Here we go. The trees are in their autumn beauty, the woodland paths are dry. Under the October twilight, the water mirrors a still sky. Upon the brimming water, among the stones, are 1950 swans. The 19th autumn has come upon me. Since I first made my count, I saw before I had well finished, all suddenly mount and scatter willing in a great broken rings. Upon their clamorous wings I have looked upon those brilliant creatures, and now my heart is sore. All's changed since I hear in the twilight. The first time on this shore the bell beat of their wings above my head. Trod with lighter tread, unweary still, lover by lover unwearied, they paddle in the cold, compassionable streams, or climb the air. Their hearts have not grown old, passion or conquest, wander where they will. Attend upon them still, but now they drift on the still water, mysterious, beautiful, among what rushes will they build? By what lakes edge or pool delight men's eyes when I awake some day to find they have flown away? In this other part, I will explain and, of course, give my own personal interpretation on why the writer and the feelings, they want to transmit with this poem. Basically, the Wild Swans are called. It's a bleak, sorrowful, poem in this situation in which, the speaker returns to a lake named called, in Ireland. Maybe this was in his 50s, and that he's remembered, in this case, and all the experience he had back in 19 years earlier. That's why he mentions, the 19th autumn. Here he observes, basically a group of swans, just as he had seen them before, but instead of bringing him joy, the swans were basic beauty and vitality. Right now, it fills, that speaker with a bittersweet situation. Why? Because, in this case, um, the unwearied swan seems to have stayed the same, still, filled with passion, mystery, and brilliance, while the speaker's own life has, in this case, been changed irreversibly by the onward passage of time, which in this case, is the age. In other words, the swans basically reminds the speaker that he himself has grown older and drifted from, in this case, vibrancy and possibility of his youth. With aging, the poem does suggest, comes tangible senses of loss for all the life left behind. Now, the poem is essentially a tale of two moments. So, the memory of the speaker's first visit, to Coole, which was a lake, in Ireland, and the present day in which he finds himself, again. Though it's not clear if he's visited, between those two moments, but that's the time frame, he mentions. Now, through comparing, these moments, the poem is able to explore the way that the relentless passage of time is affected the speaker, in this case, diminishing, his lust for life and making himself weary. Now, the poem begins, with mentioning that the speaker feels himself to be in the autumn of his life. Well, the general setting, in this case, establishes that sense of transitions, one which echoes, the way that his speaker feels that ultimately his hopes and dreams, later phrased as passion or conquest, have passed him by. As well, or in this case, looking at the numerous elegant swans on the lake, the speaker starts to draw a distinction between the time when he first saw them, which was 19 autumns ago, and the present moment, right? Now he called them as well brilliant, but all has changed since he first stood on the same place on that shore of the lake. Now, the swan's brilliance is a kind of constant true then and true now, which contrasts with the way that the speaker feels himself to have changed over the years. Now, to the end, the swan's way of being reminds speakers of how he himself used to be. This is drawn out by the way the poem describes the differences between the swans and the speaker in the present day, implying that basically he used a more of these traits he continues to perceive in their birds. Whereas the swans are on weary stilts. In this case, their hearts have now grown cold or old. In this case, the speaker as well is no longer saying the same of himself. The poem in this case implies that he has grown wearied and his heart has grown cold and old. So basically, it's very intense. And now this poem was basically written. I was reading a couple more articles in the horrors of the First World War, and during he continued his struggle for the Irish independence from the British. So it's very intense, emotionally speaking, with a connection with nature and humanity as well, which in this case where he mentioned the true contrast. Nature is present in the poem, and also humanity, which humans, which nature swans, the comparison, with the swans, with the lake, now the water, the sky, and everything, and now he contrasts that as well, with his own humanity part, which is he's grown old, all the passion and full vigor of himself, of the speaker, has weighted down to hopes, dreams, and disappointments, of life, which in this case, are called life experiences of sadness of people getting old or aging through time's experiences. It's actually a great poem. I encourage you to read more about William Yeats. Is a wonderful poet. In this case, he wrote a couple more. So I enjoyed a lot this poem. I hope you liked it too. And I will see you soon on my next videos. God bless everyone and continue learning. That's the best part. Bye bye.